This is A-Game, fast-acting, long-lasting, with no side effects.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So we are still dealing with feminist lies and how Black women are destroyed by them. So I have some things to read for you today, and I got a quick video to show you what we're talking about, the end results, right? Take note. I want Black women who are feminists to take note of where these ideologies come from, and not only where they come from, but where they lead to. Because it's always, this women's lib thing has always been associated with the L word and with the L community, with the alphabet community in general. Okay, so without a lot of further ado, you know it takes me 50 million years to share my screen, but we're going to share screen really quickly. And the screen, it has stuff to read, so I'm going to be pausing and reading a little bit with you. Okay, so this is dealing with divorce rates among same-sex couples in different countries. Okay, whenever these countries allowed legal same-sex marriages, they start keeping track of divorce rates mostly, and you'll find that a lot of the divorces still, even in same-sex relationships and marriages, are often initiated by women. Okay, now they got one or two little stats in here about heterosexual marriages, but just for comparison purposes. So you can see in Belgium between 2004 and 2009, the average annual divorce rate for all same-sex marriages was almost 2%. The total rate of divorce over those 5 years was 11%, but also between 2004 and 9, L-word divorce rates were nearly double those of G-Hall men. Okay, in Denmark, it's saying as of 97, the same-sex partnership divorce rate was significantly lower than that of heterosexual couples in Denmark. The vast majority of same-sex male marriages, the vast majority of same-sex marriages in Denmark are male-male. 14% of them end in divorce compared to 23% of them. 23% of them end in divorce for females. The higher rate for lesbians is almost double, consistent with data showing women initiate most of the heterosexual divorces in Denmark too. So we see in the Netherlands, slightly more marriages between women are recorded than between men, on average 690 to 610 per year respectively. The L-word divorce rate much higher than the divorce rate between men. In the same period, on average, 100 women and 45 men divorced per year. Okay, a study tracking married couples over 10-year span found that L-word marriages were most likely to end in divorce. So let me fast forward a little bit. It says a study on short-term same-sex registered partnerships in Norway and Sweden found that divorce rates were higher for same-sex couples in opposite-sex marriage, and that unions of L words are considerably less stable than unions of G men. In the above study, L word divorce risks were 10% higher. Okay, when we look at the UK, divorce rate of same-sex couples within 29 months of the introduction of legally binding civil partnerships was slightly less than 1%. As of 2013, L-word couples twice as likely to initiate actions to end legally recognized partnerships as compared to G-men. In 2016, married female couples were approximately 2.5 times more likely to divorce than male couples. So you see where we're going. I can stop sharing. Okay? This is where they want you to go. I am going to read a very interesting article. This is the original article that was in the New York Times. This article, let me share my screen so I can read it to you real quick. This article right here, New York Times, was printed on December 18th of 1970. All right. The L word issue and women's lib, very interesting. The L issue, which has been hidden away like a demented child ever since the women's lib movement came into being in 1966, was brought out of the closet yesterday. So if this is 1966, okay, and then this was written in 1970, this is just 4 years into this women's lib movement. 9 leaders of the movement held press conference at the Washington Square Methodist Church to express their solidarity with the struggle of LGBT to attain their liberation in a sexist society. The conference was promoted by an article in the behavior section of the December 14th issue of Time magazine, which said that Kate Millett, author of Sexual Politics and one of the chief theoreticians of the movement, had probably discredited herself as spokeswoman of her cause because she disclosed at a recent meeting that she was bi. Okay, prepared statement is read. 36-year-old Miss Millett, sitting in the center of leaders at the table in the front of the church, read a statement that she said had been prepared last Monday night at a meeting of about 30 women representing such groups as Now, Radical L Words, Colombian Women's Lib, and Daughters of Bilitis. Statement said in part, Women's Lib and Alphabet Liberation are both struggling towards a common goal, a society free from defining and categorizing people by gender and or sexual preference. L word is a label used as a psychic weapon to keep women locked in their male-defined feminine role. What did that sound like? The essence of the role is that a woman is defined in terms of her relationship to men. A woman is called an L word when she functions autonomously. Women's autonomy is what women's lib is about. Do you understand this stuff? Let me stop sharing for a minute. I need y'all to understand this stuff. Where this stuff is coming from. This is in 1970. This is written. I'm going to share it again. Standing behind Miss Millett as she spoke were about 50 women supporters who frequently interrupted her statement with cheers. Other leaders in the group were Gloria Steinem, the journalist, Ruth Sampson, president of New York chapter, Daughters of Bilitis, Florence Kennedy, a lawyer, Sally Kempton and Susan Brown Miller, journalists, and members of New York Radical Film and Ivy Botany, Dolores Alexander and Tigris Atkinson of Now. It's not quite my position, Miss Atkinson, a tall, slender blonde in blue sunglasses, said afterwards, it's not radical enough. If men succeed in associating L word with the women's movement, then they destroy the movement. The L word issue has been festering for several months, especially since women strike for equality. At a rally at Bryant Park following the August 26th march down Fifth Avenue, a member of the Radical L's made a plaintive plea for support from her straight sisters in the movement. The speaker charged the police were harassing L words and that other women in the movement were ignoring them. We're your sisters, we need help. The church had been decorated for the press conference with posters that read, Kate is great, we stand together as women regardless of sexual preference, and is the Statue of Liberty a L word too? During the question period, Ms. Alexander said she thought the movement had taken an overly long time to deal with the L issue because many women in the movement were afraid to confront it. Such an explosive issue, she said, it can intimidate women. Many women would be reduced to tears if you called them that. She added that the movement represented women who were all sexualities, all walks of life. People must speak up as L word, said Barbara Love of the GLF. I'm an L word. We've got to come out and fight because we're not going to get anywhere if we don't. Who's we? What's getting anywhere? Miss Kennedy, the only Black woman among the leaders, called for a girl cut of the products of major advertisers in Time magazine. Although they weren't present, supporting statements were distributed from Bella Abzug, Democratic representative-elect of the 19th Congressional District, Carolyn Byrd, author of Born Female, and Eileen Hernandez, national president of NOW, who called the attempts to use L words as weapons against the women's movement as sexual McCarthyism. Betty Friedan, high priestess, notice how they refer to her, of the women's lib movement and conservative on the L issue, did not attend the press conference. Leaders said they had tried to contact her, but that she was, quote, out of town. Okay. What do you expect when you follow an ideology that alienates women from men on a biological level by ignoring or attempting to redefine biological needs and imperatives between the sexes? This would result in large part to same-sex relationships because the biological need for affection, for attention, for sex, for companionship doesn't just disappear. But we got to look at the result. In those European countries, these are the aftermaths. These are the fallouts. Because the patriarchy, quote unquote, according to Marxist feminism, this is a man issue. We're having all the problems that we're having because of men and their biology, men and the stuff they want, men and their capitalism, men and their power, men and their patriarchy, right? So when we have situations where the men are removed, what's the issue? What's the problem? This should not be a point of contention. Yet, same-sex L-word relationships are the most unstable because the women are unstable. You've alienated the women biologically from the men. Oh, we don't need men, or we don't, just like I just read in an article, it's defined by our relation to men. That's the other half of your species, fool. Men are the other half of human beings. Why wouldn't we be defined as related to one another? That's stupid. But this is the ignorance that you fall into when you separate biology from culture and environment. And then you lie about the biology. You change the narrative about it. This is how you get the stupid stuff we're looking at right now. Okay? The women aren't any happier after having achieved all the women's lib that you could possibly achieve in a society. So it doesn't even matter who they married to, whether they married to men or women, they still unhappy and they still initiating the divorces. They still the ones breaking their families. So what do we say about men walking off from families when even same-sex male marriages are more stable? They're not really leaving each other like that. Problem is with y'all. And I would warn Black women, y'all following up behind it, you're going to end up in the same spot. These women over there is not happy. These are not the actions of happy women. These are not the actions of happy, fulfilled, whole, wonderful women who got their stuff together, who's living on top of the world, who's living life and doing them. That's not happiness. When you constantly can't find nothing nowhere, you can't be fulfilled nowhere, no matter where you turn and what you do, everywhere you go, that's where you are. That is a problem for you. It's a problem for you. You absorb the lie, you absorb the stupid crap, and then you end up in a disastrous state, unhappy, still unfulfilled, and the failure of feminism will be complete when we as Black people are doomed, but it'll be a success for them because when they wipe you or get you to wipe your own stupid self off of the board, they won't have any competition. Now, will they? You're no longer a threat because you're not here. I hope people are starting to understand what I'm talking about. If you understand, I want you to sound off in the comment section and let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. And once again, I'm your host of Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.